Hey, I'm Ben, I'm a singer from Chavez Cartel, and I'm here to tell you what we've been up to and what we've got on.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us, Ben. It's really
Pleasure.
nice to, yeah, it's really nice to chat with you. So, Chavez Cartel are a band who caught my attention a few years back. I remember the first time I tuned into one of your tracks, I was absolutely hooked. The deep and raw emotion-filled vocals backed with a sound that gives me big grunge rock vibes. I love it. So you guys have got, as you say, a lot going on at the moment. So let's talk about it.
Right, where do we start? We've got a new EP coming out in May. If
Yeah.
I remember right, that's May 5th.
Yep.
And that coincides with a UK tour that we've got starting in 3 weeks' time. We've got his first UK gig on. That might actually be May 3rd. Jeez, it's coming around quick, this.
That's like 3 weeks away and you're off to the UK.
Yeah, I've actually just realised now we're talking about that I've got another PR campaign to run right now. So yeah, I'm glad we had this conversation because I'm so focused on this tour. I actually forgot that we've got this record. Well, I've not forgot it's coming out, but I forgot the workload involved. So I have to crack on with that now too. So
Yeah.
shit.
No, that's good. But hey, there is a lot going on. Let's do it bit by bit. The first thing that I've got written down, so first up, some of the big news that you have is that you've recently signed to a label over in the UK. So that's really exciting. Can you tell me how that all came about?
Yeah, well, there's a label that I've been following for a while. The reason I followed them is because they've got some kind of involvement with South by Southwest over in Texas.
Right,
So
right. That's huge.
yeah, it is. It is huge, and it's something that I've always wanted to do. Even if it'd be good for a career, obviously. It would be a good career move for band, but it'd also be really cool just to say that we've been over to America with band and just done a bit of traveling and played some shows, and it kind of like tick a lot of boxes because I've always been about traveling my whole life, and I've always been about music. So this particular label really interested me because not only have they got South by Southwest, but they also have Glastonbury involvement and stuff. So this was like a really cool independent little label that has been on my radar for a while. And I could have approached him years ago, but I chose not to because I weren't fully happy with songs that we've got. I weren't fully happy with his sound. I weren't fully happy with his progress. To be honest, I don't think we ever will be. It's just always a work in progress. That's just an artist's torture, I guess. But we're at a stage now that I'm really happy with. So we got to this stage, this new EP, and I approached label, and luckily they liked us and they took us on board, and it's been pretty sweet ever since.
That's awesome. So it sounds like the timing was just right. You felt like it was right for you, and clearly the record label were keen to take you on board at that point too.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I think with some people, you're never going to get their attention, but with some people, you might just get their attention just once. And I wanted to make sure that if I got their attention, I wanted to keep it. So I wanted to make sure we had a product that we all fully believed in, we were sure of, were proud of, and with this particular EP, we feel like we've got there now.
I love that. And I think that's really important too, to have, everything lined up and good to go. So, as you say, if you'd have been in touch with them sooner and didn't have something to produce after what you've initially given them, then they're going to be going, well, what's happening, guys? So,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's pretty much it. So I just held off for a while, and
yeah.
I was quite eager, but I was eager to contact a lot of people and get his music out there. But yeah, we waited until time were right, and luckily they liked us and they took us on, and that's where this UK tour's come from. They got us straight on a couple of festivals over there.
Right.
They've got us a couple of headline shows and a few other shows where we're supporting. So it's going to be a good crash course in international touring. This.
Yeah, that is awesome. I was going to ask how the UK tour came about, but so that's all associated with the record label, obviously.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean we've had to do quite a bit of sales because the label they do a lot of things, but they don't really that booking agencies are not really part of that.
yeah,
So
yep.
they're more focused on management and label services as opposed to being a booking agent. So we have had to do a little bit of sales, but not too much. They're obviously connected and they've pulled a lot of strings. So we've done a little bit, but I'd say it's been a fair 60-40 split.
That's
They've done more. We've done a share.
That's wonderful. It's a team effort. And speaking of which, you've also recently hooked up with the incredible team at On the Map PR. So I absolutely adore them. I've known Fee and Emily and everyone from there for quite some time. So they, when I started taking over Good Call Live, that I used to work for, sorry, I should say, didn't work for them, owned it. Yeah, they were some of the wonderful people that helped hook us up with a lot of different bands and gig reviews and interviews and things like that. So they are just incredible, wonderful team to be associated with. So tell me, how did Chavez Cartel start working with On the Map PR?
I didn't realize I have to just agree with you. There's such great people. Like you speak to a lot of people in the industry, and don't get me wrong, it's easy to misread emails and text messages and stuff, but a lot of people do come off as dickheads.
Oh yeah.
These guys were just the exact opposite of that. They were so welcoming and warming, and I don't know if it's because like it's a woman's touch or whatever, but it's just beautiful. They're so welcoming, warming people, and they're just so good at the job as well.
They are incredible. They're very friendly people, but they're also very professional. So it's really nice to have that balance.
It is, and they're so like, I feel like I knew them personally after just a couple of emails, and I think that's a really good thing to get started. And yeah, so we just got talking online a while, and we showed them a couple of songs, and they said they picked what they would prefer, and we just ran from there. We let them put a song out for us, and yeah, we're just gonna keep going with that.
Yeah, that's incredible. I can imagine. I do know. I mean, they cover all sorts of different genres and stuff. But from what I know of them, I know they would dig your sound. Absolutely, yeah.
Good conversation. Like with a lot of people, again, like you can sort of tell that no one's really listening to your shit.
Yeah.
We still get a lot of cold emails. It's like, oh, we like this song. We think it's like, well, that song's fucking 10-year-old and it's shit. So I know you don't like that song. You've just gone on Spotify and picked one.
Yeah.
But with these girls, they went really in depth, and you could tell that they'd not only listened to it, they'd listened to the full record, they picked what they preferred and why they preferred it, and they actually picked up on a couple of things which we actually consciously tried to do. They picked up on a couple of sounds. They said, "Oh, it'd sound good in like a Tarantino movie or this," and I admitted that for the last few years. Watching Peaky Blinders and getting into Peaky Blinders soundtrack, that just became like an obsession for me. Like I just started to want to have a sound that would feel and correct on Peaky Blinders. So for them to just pick up on that sort of like cinematic sort of vibe, I just knew straight away that these were ones that we should be working with.
That's incredible. I just literally got a shiver when you were talking about that. So I do believe that you're accurate there in saying that, they've put that time and love and effort into listening to your music and really, really getting to know it before they've gone, let's work together. And that's just incredible. So it sounds like not only have you got this wonderful record label, you've got this great PR team behind you as well. So that's really important.
And they actually really good people, and they're very like industry savvy, and they've actually taught me things that aren't related to PR. Like I've realised that it is good to have a good team, but it's taught me that my team needs to get bigger. And starting to talk about radio plugs and this and that, and I realised that we probably got like 50% of us team together. I thought that we'd get PR and that'd be it. We've got a full team, and we're not yet. We've got half a team.
No.
We're getting there though.
Yeah, no, there's a lot involved.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's definitely a big team or even a big family of people that come together, and it's important to have the right people. So that's wonderful. We talked, or did we touch on this yet? So I was going to talk about one of your most recent gigs, which was an absolutely stellar support slot with English rock band The Reytons. Is that how you say it? The Reytons?
Well pronounced, yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, sweet. And so
the Reytons, like the word Reytons, and it's roughly translated, it's the right ones.
Right. I love that.
Right ones, like where we would say Reytons.
Okay, awesome. That's really cool. So you played a show. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Because I was like, because I hadn't spoken to you in person that I recall. I know I've seen you live a few times, but when you sing, obviously your accent isn't as thick as what it is when you talk. And then when we were, yeah. And then when we were voice messaging the other day, I went, oh shit, because I went, that's right. I'd forgotten that you were, from the UK. So that's really cool. But so we were going to talk about the Reytons. So that's a huge support slot to get. So you played a show with them in Sydney. So how was that, and how did you land that slot?
That was amazing, and it just couldn't have gone any better. It was just such a success for us that we went down with. We knew we were the opening band, and you know what it's like when if you're like an opening band on just like a normal night at a normal venue, you're kind of not playing to many people, or sometimes you are, which is pleasantly surprising. So we went down with attitude, that we might be playing to an empty crowd, but all we needed to do was prove to the band and the promoters that we could play, and that would be job done. That was the objective for that trip.
Nice, yeah.
But when we went down there, we unloaded the stuff out of car, and then we dropped on the Reytons in the street, and they recognised us just from like photos, I guess, and they're like, "Oh, like Ben, come in here, get in here with us," and we just spent the whole day with them. We watched them sound check. We had a few drinks through the afternoon, and that was really good because having seen the live shows online, they're a fucking huge band. Their shows are just exceptional.
Yeah, their following is huge, and
it really helps us by spending that day before the show, because if we wouldn't have met them till after the show, there would have been these rock stars in our eyes, and we might have put them on a pedestal. But we actually just spent a whole day with them, chilled with them, played our show, played their show, and just it was perfect. There was no pressure whatsoever. We went there, we played it was packed, like the place was packed when we were on. We got loads of the fans. They were buying us merch, buying us vinyl. They were just getting us details, asking us when we're playing back in UK, when we're playing back in Australia. It was just a massive success.
That's incredible. You couldn't ask for anything better.
No, not really. Like I said, we went down with right attitude, but expecting bare minimum. But even with as wildest little dreams, it surpassed that. It was just a great experience. It was a really successful night for us.
That's so wonderful. Again, it sounds like that was all sort of, as my mum would say, divinely ordered. She's a clairvoyant, so she's very spiritual. It sounds like it was all very much meant to be. So that's incredible. I'm glad you got to have that experience with them. Are you going to catch up with them when you go over for your tour?
We are. Well, we're all really good friends with them now from that experience. After we played with them, they had a Brisbane show up at Eaton's. Is it Eaton's Hill?
Eaton's Hill. Yep.
And they got us all into their festival, and we hung out with them that day as well.
Nice.
And the day after that, they all came down to Gold Coast for like a couple of days holiday. So we just all chilled. I took them to the beach and showed them Burley, and they've put on a couple of shows for us back in UK. So they've helped us with a heap of stuff, and they are actually really helping us a lot. So we've made a really good bunch of mates in them, and they're really useful as well.
Great friendship and great connection there. There's networking. I love networking.
It is. and it just goes to show how nice they are, because they're absolutely killing it. They're so far down the line in terms of the career and stuff, and they've still got time to help us. They're helping so much. I'm not even asking them, and they're so helpful, and they're just great people.
That's so good. I love that. That's a great story. So we have already touched a little bit on the UK tour. So after the tour, you've got some big things happening back here as well. So you've got some other festivals and things and gigs coming up. So what's next after the UK shows?
Actually, we land probably a few days before Moondorf, before your big event. Yeah, so
nice.
We'll be coming back from England with no suntan. You'll have 4 drip wipes on your stage.
Yeah, no, that's cool. So that's exciting. And Moondorf Festival, we should definitely touch base on that one a little bit, because as if we wouldn't, it happens to be my festival, which is pretty exciting. So I'm stoked to have you guys on board. I've wanted to book you for a long time now. So how do you feel about playing Moondorf? And do you know much about the Mansfield Tavern where it's held?
So we've one of Jack, who plays guitar for us, he knows a fair bit. He's really excited for Mansfield Tavern because his dad's told him a lot of stories about the past. So I know it's a bit of an iconic venue. Other than that, I don't know a lot.
Yeah, it sure is iconic. And again, we're going back to talking about the 70s and 80s and all that. Anyone who was anyone played at the Mansfield Tavern. So that stage has seen the likes of just such a long list of bands. You can Google it and look them all up, but there's been heaps there. So starting from 70s and 80s into the 90s, and then unfortunately there was a little bit of a gap where they didn't do much live music, but it's certainly been coming back in the last few years, and it's really incredible to see. And I just love the venue because you walk in there and you can feel the energy of gigs from the past. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's got that character ingrained in it.
It's got that energy, which is really special, I think, when you're choosing a venue for something that you're putting on yourself. But anyway,
we can't wait to play this, so we really can't. And it's Jack's, speaking of Jack, it's his birthday too that night, so it's going to be just one big celebration. We'll be celebrating his tour, we'll be celebrating Moondorf, we'll be celebrating Jack's birthday. It's just going to be a really good night. Again,
it's just all divinely timed. Sorry?
It's a big one in our calendar.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying that because it's your thing. Genuinely, it's a big one for us.
No, I believe you, and that's wonderful. And again, the divine timing. It just seems like this year you're really kicking some big goals, and that things seem to be timed really well. And it must be feeling very good. You must be on a bit of a high.
It's we are on high, and it's difficult because you're always grinding, aren't you? And you'd be saying promoting your own things. You're always grinding, and because you're always grinding and you're always stimulated, it's difficult to actually take a step back, give yourself a pat on the back, and realise what you've actually achieved. And we've been doing I've been doing a few emails lately because we've had to fill out like update his bio, I guess. And these last 12 months, like, it's just been fucking wild. And I didn't even realise we've come so far, because we've just been so focused on other things. But it's just been a huge year, and we've got a lot of momentum now, and we're very actively kind of trying to keep that momentum going by just chipping away at new stuff, continuing to build on what we've got.
Absolutely. It's really important too. And another thing I was going to talk about is with all of this great stuff happening, how are you finding, because I know that you have a daughter, so we've all got, family and other things in our lives that we have to balance out with this, with this rock star lifestyle as well. So how are you finding, I mean, you've been in bands and doing music stuff for years, but how are you finding balancing everything at the moment with so much more going on?
Well, you've caught me on a good day, because when I'm on a good day, I convince myself that I've got this balance down pat. But honestly, on another day, I just fucking freak out because I know I haven't.
Yeah, I feel that.
It's just winging it, and I've always been a shit sleeper, so I just sacrifice sleep. That's not healthy. I'm not advising people to do that, but my priorities are my daughter and my band, and that's fucking it, and it's in that order. So, like anything outside my daughter, it's band, and anything outside that, it's just remembering to fucking eat and drink water, and which is not really balanced at all, is it? I'm just doing the best I can just to chip away.
I think that's it, though. We're all just doing the best we can with what we've got. But it is important to make sure every now and again you've got to put yourself in check and go, okay, have I got a fair enough balance here? Because you've definitely got to keep yourself healthy and happy as well. But it does take a lot of work being in a band and pursuing that where you want to go with that.
It does. Well, I always remind myself that, like, we've all still got jobs. We're not at that point where we can, go full time yet. I'm hoping that it's just not too far away around the corner. But at the minute, we've all got jobs. We're all doing it for the love and for the passion, and it's really paying off. But right now, we've all got jobs to do it. I always remind myself that it took me a lot of years and a lot of effort to be competent in an everyday job. So, to make a fucking dream job into a fucking reality, then it should take a lot of shit, and it should require your balance adjustments. It should require everything you've got, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine to keep giving that.
Absolutely, and if you're going to give it your all, then that says a lot, and that's a wonderful commitment that you have. So we've been talking a lot about the present, but let's talk a little bit about the past for a moment. So tell me, where did it all begin for your band, for Chavez Cartel? What year did you guys first get together?
So I met Tom. So I was jamming with a guy in 2016-ish, I think. So Chavez Cartel's existed in one way or another probably around 10 years, but it actually started as like a lyric or poetry project. I was getting into poetry slams. Like that would have been the original
awesome
direction. That's what I was more interested in doing.
Yeah.
But I went through a bit of shit with life, and all arrows just pointed to starting a band again. That's everything just pointed to music. Like, I had a lot of shit on my mind. I didn't particularly want to talk about it. I didn't particularly want to stay quiet about it, so I just sang about it. I met myself in Midland and started to sing about this shit. And so it probably started just jamming. I moved to Gold Coast, and I would have jammed with anyone. I didn't know anyone at all, so I just grabbed who I could, and we just started making music. And then after a while, we met Tom. I think I met Tom in about 2017. So I would say roughly 6 years.
And Tom
being a proper band.
Is he the guitarist or?
No, Tom's drummer. Sorry.
Tom's drums, yeah, right. And who else have you got? Tell us who the rest of the band is. So you got Tom on drums.
I met Tom, and then probably a year, 18 months after that, we met Jack, his guitar.
Yeah, nice.
And then shortly after that, we met Josh, who is bass.
Yeah, nice. And the four of you just clicked?
Yeah, it took a while. We clicked as friends, and we clicked as musicians, which were fine. I think I would probably prefer that order anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, it took a long time to click as musicians. Josh actually started as a guitarist because we had another bassist at the time. So for a while, we were a 5-piece, but it just didn't work at all. So, through trial and error, we worked out we're better as a 4. and we just got a few more pedals involved, and yeah, we were better as a four. We had a better sound as a four, but it took a long time to get to that. We convinced ourselves for a long time we needed to be a five, and it just wasn't the case. So yeah, we clicked after making that adjustment. That's when we really started to get some traction, especially with what I would say quality of music.
Yeah, that's awesome. And sometimes that happens that way, you know, some slight adjustments with the lineup and that sort of thing, and then it you find the right dynamic for you and for the band. So yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, so I would say we've been a band probably 6 years, and I would say we've been like a proper, like, pushing, ambitious band for probably 4 of them.
Yeah, that's cool. And where did the band name come from?
So Chavez is it's a loose acronym. I used to go through my old writing and try making sense of certain words, and so Chavez means can have it all very easily, which is what we touched upon earlier in his balance talk. And I truly believe you can be the biggest band in the world. You just have to give it all first. So I can have it all very easily. Just give it all first, and that would have a page of me writing that I took that out of. And cartel's just a cool word, so that's it. I stuck
It is,
cartel
yeah.
behind Chavez. Yeah.
Very cool. I love that. It's a question I love answering, and I'm sure a lot of bands that do a lot of interviews probably grow a bit tired of it. But I'm always fascinated by where band names have come from, whether it was just something on the spur of the moment, or whether it's got some in-depth meaning, or you know what the story is.
Yeah, I also I wanted a couple of words that looked good on paper, and I just think whenever I write that or if I see it typed, I think it looks cool. And
It does.
I'm a word nerd, like I said, I'm always into writing like poetry and short stories first. So I am a word nerd. So
Me
I
too.
I don't think as many people would say to start the name of the band on what words look good on paper. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's the thing. And I mean, I get that. I'm totally a word nerd myself. I am a writer. That is something that I do. And I love poetry and lyrics and all that thing. So, speaking of which, I assume then, do you write all the lyrics for all the songs for Chavez Cartel?
I do, yeah.
Yep. That's awesome. That is one of the things that appealed to me about the band, is the lyrics, because being a writer myself, but not being a musician, when I'm reviewing music and listening to music, one of the very first things I notice is the lyrics and the words and the vocals.
I like that too, yeah.
Yeah. I can really appreciate a good guitarist and a great drummer and a great bass player and the way they sound all together, but I'm not technically minded with that side of things. Whereas I feel like because words are my thing, like I find that an easy thing for me to look at and go, well, this guy is a brilliant lyricist and a brilliant singer, you know, and that's something that appeals to me straight away. Do you find that when you're listening to music as well? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I find myself constantly flicking through radio, and I'm just waiting for lyrics to ruin it. It's mainly fucking. I'm just waiting to skip station. I'm like, nah, fuck that. I can't do with that. And so yeah, even I've got friends who don't even listen to lyrics; they just hear it as like another guitar. But I have to. If someone's saying shit lyrics, I don't care how good music is. I'm instantly semi-repulsed.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally get it. I understand. So with the music, so you write a lot of the lyrics. Do you write a lot of the music as well, or is that a joint effort with the band? Do you have?
It is a joint effort, actually. I mean, I don't play guitar when we play live because I'm shocking, but I write on guitar a lot. I just jam at home. I've just done a few chords. I can put things together. So I do write little bits, but like 10%. Everything else is Jack, and everyone writes their own respective parts, really.
Yeah, right.
But it is a joint effort a lot. If someone's got an idea, they'll bring it in, and then if we think it might sound perfect first time, or if we think it's got something, we'll just work a few different keys or just a different sound, and yeah, we just grind it out together. Usually, it's very much a team effort, but everyone's pretty much responsible for their own parts mainly.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. So your music has always given me big grunge rock vibes. Like I absolutely love grunge. Anyone who knows me knows that that's my one true love in life. So who are some of your biggest influences as a band, and who are some of your? Sorry, I've written that question really strangely. Some bands and musicians that have influenced you personally over the years?
Right. So, when we first started, I was just obsessed with Nirvana. I think everyone who starts a band sound like Nirvana. Like that's the first band that sound like. You know what I mean? They're just
they're amazing.
And then simple power chords just put through an amp that I think everyone at some stage in their career has sounded like Nirvana.
Yep.
So, and we're no different. We just love Nirvana and love Joy Division, love Velvet Underground, Stooges, Black River Motorcycle Club, Oasis, just fucking heaps.
Yeah, I even heard like in your first EP, I think it's your first EP. There's a couple of tracks on there that have very big Silverchair vibes.
That would have come from guitarists.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, not so much the lyrics, but the guitar. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Because there's a couple of, I don't know, riffs and moments and stuff in there where I'm like, oh, that's like totally Silverchair vibes, which I love. That's awesome.
I think you can hear numerous grunge acts that we ripped off at that particular time.
Yeah, but you do it. I wouldn't say you ripped them off. I would say that you've obviously taken some influence there and channeled that into what you're doing.
Yeah, we did, absolutely.
Yeah, but that's awesome. And
we're all into grunge and punk, and we've tried as we've come on, we've tried to we've all been a little bit obsessed with post punk, especially what's going on in UK at the minute. There's a lot of cool as fuck UK post punk bands, and the sounds and noises. We've just been kind of fascinated by them. So we've been on his own journey and just like picking up a couple of things from a couple of modern bands as well, and just sprinkling them on us. And I think that's what's helped us get where we are.
Yeah, I think your sound, I can definitely hear a change. Like it still sounds like Chavez Cartel and it sounds like your original songs, like the earliest ones I've heard anyway. I'm sure there's stuff I haven't heard that you might not have released or whatever. But from what I've heard, yeah, it's definitely what's the word? It's changed, but there's still the roots there that are you, and clearly, you know, that same sort of similar sound. But I can hear what you're saying when you're saying you've added other layers of things because obviously
that's what we've actually tried to actively do. We've actually tried to. We don't want to change in direction. We never wanted that. We wanted to be consistent and just like stay in one direction, but just add stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like just not undo our hard work, what we've done for the last few years, not start again in sound. Like we're not there yet. Maybe in a few years we might do that, but right now we're just on this path, and we just wanted to stay on this path and just keep adding bits, and you know, like kind of have a little peek at what in our opinion the benchmark of guitar musicians are doing, and just you know, just taking a bit of inspiration from old and new and seeing what mix we could get. And I think we've got something quite original, I think.
Absolutely. I think so too. Another thing I love about you, we've talked about lyrics and the music and all that sort of thing, but the music videos, which I think is something that's really important. Another element of being in a band that I think is important. There has to be some thought that goes into that. And it's funny because different bands will choose different directions, I think, with their music videos. Like, for example, my all-time favorite band is the Foo Fighters. So you look at the Fooies and they've gone down the comedian sort of thing where majority of their film clips are amusing and cleverly put together and that sort of vibe. And I remember an interview with Dave Grohl once where he was talking about it and he said, oh, the one time we did try and do a serious one, he said it was just ridiculous. He said I couldn't deal with it, and he said I don't think it's one of our better film clips, you know. So he said we just went back to what we know, which is doing the
goofing around.
So with the Chavez Cartel film clips, I absolutely love them. I feel like they all have this sort of dark and mysterious vibe to them, which I really love and I think suits your music. And I mean, maybe you were talking before about your passion for Peaky Blinders and that whole sort of soundtrack vibe, which they had a lot of, you know, Nick Cave and PJ Harvey, and definitely a dark, mysterious sort of vibe going on. So do you think is that something you've aimed for there? Is that sort of vibe with your music videos, or?
Yeah, it is absolutely. Like I've been talking, especially like as we've got more and more connected. We speak to people who are a lot higher up than us, and from a very early stage, like branding's been like kind of fucking zoned in on. And yeah, so branding, it's really important that we're consistent with everything. Like photography and videos, it is all quite dark because most of the songs do come from dark places. We do try to bring light into them too.
Oh yeah, there's definitely.
We have tried to keep things quite dark and running on that cinematic stuff. And we've been using the same videographer as well, which we're really big on long-term working relationships. They're just better. They're better all round. You know what you're getting. Everyone kind of jumps on, and then they're all in for a ride. And we're working with a lad called Nathan Frost. Frosty. He's done in fact, he's done all his videography for the last probably 4 years.
Yeah, nice. I was going to ask that. Yeah, yep.
So he's on this journey with us, and so he's got his own creative idea, which we absolutely love. He's quite quirky as well, like we are, and he likes darker arts, I guess. And so he's just like, he was a perfect guy to meet at that time. And he's on this journey now where he's got his thing, we've got our thing, and we meet in Midland when we get whatever. And he's in a position where if he thinks what we've got is like a bad idea or doable, he'll pipe up and he'll take charge of that. But if not, he just gives us freedom, really.
Yeah.
And his finished product's always better than what we could imagine. So it's a good working relationship, this. So we are, we do focus on that a lot, keeping it dark and keeping it consistent. However, as next one, we've got our this new EP that we've got. We didn't particularly put a single on it. We just put an EP out that we liked. We never thought we're going to try getting radio play with this. We just literally put a 6-track together of songs that we really loved. But there's one song on there that's a little bit lighter, it's a little bit brighter, and the video for that's just going to be a collection of all footage we've got on GoPros and stuff for like 6 years. It's going to be like a then to now sort of story, so that'll be a lot brighter. That'll be a little bit different. It'll still be black and white, a little bit grungy, but it'll be a little bit more personal.
That's really cool too. I love that too, though. And I mean, I definitely see the dark and the light in your music and lyrics and everything. There's definitely light there, but I think, yeah, that sort of vibe with the music videos is definitely very similar, and I love that. I love that whole look for you guys. So I think what did you say his name was? Sorry, Frosty. Yeah, he clearly shares that vision with you, you know, from listening to your music and putting together the videos, which is really important. That again, it seems you're all on the same page, which is really wonderful. Yeah,
he does, and like we said earlier with when we're talking about On the Map Girls, F&M,
yeah,
you can tell with Frosty straight away. He's not only listened to it, he's studied it.
Yes,
you can give me a song, and 1 hour later, he's got like a full idea, like all mapped out, you know, and like he gets right into project, and also because it's same face, same crew. When you know we're not actors, so when someone sticks a camera in your face, it is a bit fucking weird for a while.
Yeah.
But that's something that we're getting better at because it's always same crew, it's always same people. We know what to expect. We're getting better in that aspect too. You know, we don't want to be fucking actors. We don't particularly. If we had choice, we wouldn't do videos, but like it's just something we kind of have to do. But we're starting to enjoy them a bit more and be a bit more natural around it too. So
yeah, I think I can see that too. I can see that in your music videos. To me, you do look very relaxed and comfortable in front of the camera. So that's really cool. Yeah, so I think we've kind of, which often happens with interviews, because obviously I've got questions in some sort of order, but we've gone a bit all over the place, but that's not a problem because I think we've covered almost all of the exciting news and things that you guys have got happening. We've definitely touched on the new EP, so I want to go back to that for a minute because that is something that's really important and exciting for the band. So how are you feeling about this new release?
We're excited. So we nearly put it out last year, and I'm so happy that we didn't because just by holding on to it a bit longer, we're actually able to lure in the label like we said earlier.
Yeah.
So we're very excited, but we just can't wait to get it out because we recorded it nearly 2 years ago now.
Yeah, right.
And we were going to put it out, but then label got interested. The label had an idea to leave it a little bit longer, which again worked out fucking perfectly.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's 2 years old now, and you know what it's like with a band. You rehearse it hundreds of times to get it recorded, and then after you recorded it, you play it 1,000 times live. We just can't wait to get it out.
Oh, you'd be itching to get it out there. Yeah.
Well, we feel like we've already got another 2 LPs written since then, so we cannot wait to get it out and tour it, and yeah, we've got it on vinyl too. So we've been selling quite a few pre-sales on hard copies of it as well.
I do love vinyl.
That was a big thing for us getting it down on. Like on vinyl, that were a big moment.
Is that the first time? Yeah, is that the first time you've done a release on vinyl?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
that's really exciting. I do love vinyl. Are you a vinyl collector yourself?
I am. Yeah, I'm looking at them now. Actually, out of the corner of my eye.
Yeah, nice. What's your favorite album that you've got on vinyl?
It's probably Velvet Underground and Nico's Banana albums.
Yeah, nice.
Because I just, like some albums they're just meant to be on wax, aren't they? They've just got a record sound that should be played on record, left to play through. Yeah. And for me, the Velvet Underground is just the perfect vinyl band. Yeah. And that's probably my favourite. But that's probably my favourite album of all time anyway, I think. No. So to have that on, yeah, probably that. And I can see it as well. So.
You have to put it on after the chat and
I will do.
have a listen. Yeah. All right. Well, I think, again, as I've said, I think we've touched base on everything. I feel like we could probably talk for hours longer, but we should probably wrap it up.
Yeah.
So my final question that I'm going to ask tonight, and I feel like it's a big one, but I really like this question. What does music mean to you?
Do you know what, right? I think if you ask this question at any time in my life, I'd probably give you a different answer. You know, it's one of them words.
Yep.
You attach different meanings to throughout life, and there's many words like it. But to me right now, it's just, I don't know.
I told you it was a big one. Yeah.
I actually don't know. Right? Like for a while when I was younger, I was so reliant on it, and I would have probably said it's life. But since having kids, and my mental health's sweet as fuck right now, and everything's really good, and it's just a passionate thing that I happen to really love doing. You know, like that's it. But once upon a time, I would have said it's the be all end all, and if I didn't have it, I would want to die. You know what I mean? I'd have said something real fucking miserable. But right now, it's just something that's really sweet that I happen to be really fond of, and that's pretty much it. Really, I'm really light-hearted with it.
But I think that's a perfect way of putting it because, and I feel the same, when I was younger, music was like the air that I would breathe. It was, going through teenage years when you're going through all that angst and confusion and emotions, and music was something that was a steady and a constant and something there that was familiar and, something that was like a best friend that never went away. So it was, something like that. But now, I agree with you. Music is something that I'm passionate about. And I think that passion stems from what music did for us when we were younger.
That's one of my earliest memories are like collecting cassettes or CDs, anything that I could get passed down from my parents or like go out and buy myself. I've just been obsessed with like collecting it and owning it. And I've always been obsessed, but I've got a really healthy relationship with music right now. I really, really do. But there has been times when I've had a toxic relationship because I've depended on it so fucking much. And you can't go through life depending on one thing.
No, that's absolutely true. And that's coming back to balance and stuff again, isn't it? But I mean, I love that your description of that as well because it's clear that the passion that you have for music, it's very clear through what you're doing now. With Chavez Cartel and with your band, and so it's really important to have that passion and that drive. And I'm really excited for you guys, and I wish you nothing but the best. I can see huge things for Chavez Cartel, and I'm honoured to have you playing my show, Music Fest, which is Saturday, June 3rd. I'm just going to throw it in, give another little plug because in Brisbane at the Mansfield Tavern. It's going to be amazing, and I'm so excited to have you guys on that, and I'm so excited for I can't wait to hear